it turns out I am live. I thought I was told I've got 5 minutes or a few minutes or something to that effect. All right. Well, Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan. This is Nigel Rabid. I thought maybe I would be on with Faddy or Panda or Raja Naveed, but apparently you've got me. Um, hmm, I don't even know how this application works, so this is going to be very entertaining. I don't know that I can see. Ah, yeah, it says right there we are live. Let's see. I thought we were going to have some live questions or something of that sort. But I mean, who needs live questions when I can just sit here and ramble from the comfort of my library? That's what I do most weekends anyway. Of course, it's the middle of the week. I'm coming to you in Pakistan. Is it 10 o'clock? Oh, thank you very much, Izzy. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, it's lovely to be here. Um, I was hoping to have a little bit more of a guided direction opposed to letting me flail about conversationally, but I'm very good at flailing about. Um, I'm exceptional at salam Rio, salam. I'm exceptional at just rambling, and I'm very talented at saying I do that quite a lot. But no, it's lovely to be here on Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan's live stream. It's lovely to get an opportunity to reach out to the fans in Pakistan, fans of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, fans of myself. Um, it's been such a wonderful pleasure to be a part of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan and the entire team at Dream World Resorts and everyone at Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan has worked tirelessly to make sure that we do a excellent job. Let's see. Why are we not promoting wrestling in Pakistan like it should be promoted? Um, Rio, that's a lovely question, but let me ask you, what is your definition of should be promoted? Um, I know that here in the United States, one of the things that makes promoting difficult is having the financial avenues to go through proper promotion. It's very expensive to get radio ad spots. It's very expensive to get television ad spots. Print is only so good in this day and age because people are only so willing to stop and read. I mean, if you pay attention to anything that goes on Facebook, we end up with that kind of a problem where people will just read a headline and assume that they know all of the facts of a given article. Thank you very much, Yasir. I don't deserve any of the credit. That's all. That's all. Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan's core with Nami Suleiman and with Kami. Um, they've all been doing a lot of the real work. Um, I've been blessed to be able to handle a few things in the terms of working with international talent and helping bring the international talent into Pakistan. But as far as the heart of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, that's really Nami Suleiman and the rest of the guys like RJ and Raja Naveed and Panda and everyone else associated and working on it on the day to day. How do I see the future of pro wrestling in Pakistan? That I would love to say that I can really read the direction of what's going on in Pakistan for professional wrestling. Because I'm not there, it's very hard to get a real good idea. Uh, uh, Hello, Malik. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Thank you very much for asking. But as far as the future of pro wrestling in Pakistan, um, pro wrestling in Pakistan is very much something that is very dependent on what the fans do and how the fans treat professional wrestling. If the fans treat professional wrestling as the sport that it is and with the seriousness that it deserves, and you know, in situations like this, you have to. We use an expression here in the United States where you vote with your wallet. Um, it depends on what you're willing to invest. If you invest in things like purchasing professional wrestling memorabilia, specifically in the case of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan memorabilia, and the pro wrestling stars of Pro Wrestling Federation Pakistan, Rajat Naveed, RJ Faddy, Mr. Suleiman, everyone else, Shere Khan, Jordan. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Um, but uh, the, uh, the real determining factor for whether or not professional wrestling is going to have a strong and vibrant life in Pakistan, in the same fashion that it has had, and to a certain extent does still have a strong, vibrant life in places like the United States, Japan, Mexico, Europe, particularly England, Germany. That's all hingent on whether or not the fans make it something that the rest of the country has to pay attention to. Um, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, definitely the fans. And uh, hello to the two persons who sent me messages while I was in the middle of that. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I apologize for not not breaking my stream of consciousness to say hello. But if I interrupt myself, sometimes I forget where I'm going. That's laughable. But uh, professional wrestling. Uh, I think the things that harm professional wrestling the most is when we succumb to infighting amongst ourselves. Um, when uh, when someone has a disagreement with someone else in wrestling and they split ways, and when they do that, someone invariably always starts at another person, talking badly, saying bad things about each other behind each other's backs, and making public statements, and that's, I think, uncalled for. We need to, on professional wrestling, on the professional side. You're welcome, Rio. Uh, on the professional side, we have to be professional. Do I think that Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair are overrated? And Ahmad, um, I don't think that Becky and Charlotte are overrated. I think that Becky and Charlotte are working for a company that very strictly controls what they do and how they do it. Very much the same way that for years people have made comments about John Cena and how John Cena is not a great worker, and John Cena, he's overrated. It's not that John isn't a good worker. It's not that John doesn't have talent. It's that there are certain accepted procedures or not procedures, but there's a formula for WWE. They want to make things easily digestible for the lowest common denominator of fan. Um, is Tessa Blanchard an exceptionally talented young woman? Absolutely. Is she deprived of opportunity? No, I don't think she's deprived of opportunity. I think Tessa is at the very beginning of her real solid opportunities. I think Tessa is really going to start growing herself as as the years go by in professional wrestling. That's one of the things. There are some people who are flash successes. They get into wrestling and they explode onto the scene. And then there are other people who are slow builds. Let's see. What do I think the best way to promote professional wrestling? I think the best way to promote the professional wrestling is the way that it has been promoted in years past. Now, it's not just a fight. It's not just a athletic or sports competition. This is a battle of good and evil. That's what professional wrestling has really sold itself as, and that's when it really made itself remarkable was when we were selling good versus evil. Now that doesn't mean unilaterally every story has to have a good guy, has to have a bad guy, uh, because I mean there are some people who enjoy the characters who are somewhere in between. I mean, take a look at the recent surge in the popularity of anti-hero characters or characters who um, have their own moral code that pushes against the moral code of society. We've had the success of the superhero vigilante characters like Batman and the Punisher, characters like John Wick, um, all characters who don't follow the rules of the system, don't follow the rules of society, and yet they're wildly popular. So I think the best way to promote professional wrestling is it's not just a tremendous sports competition. It's not just an amazing show of athleticism, but it is a tale of good versus evil. It is a tale of it is a tale of how how can good strive against or succeed against evil, or how what will evil do to vanquish good, or things like that. And to the two people, Mahmoud Bilal, thank you so much, and to the other gentleman who welcomed me to the live stream, thank you so much. Um, but I think I think the best way to promote professional wrestling is um, a is to sell that, because that's what I mean. Everything else, every other boxing competition, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, all of those are strictly sold to the fans who enjoy them as, this is a sports competition, and who is the better sportsman, who is the better athlete. Uh, and while professional wrestling does do that, we have the added bonus of being able to, through what we do in the ring, and occasionally through vignettes, but I prefer it more through what we do in the ring, sell a story of good versus evil. Um, I that's a that's a bit of an unfair question. I love Keith. Keith is um, he's a very dear person to me. I won't say that he's a dear friend because that's disingenuous. Keith and I are friends. I've worked with him for many years before he went to NXT. Um, I think Keith is one of those rare kinds of athletes or rare kinds of wrestlers that they can do it all. He's got the charisma, he's got the talent, he's got uh, the sports talent, the athleticism, the ability. He's got a tremendous sense of humor. Now, I think comparing him to Brock Lesnar is not fair to Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar is a completely different kind of animal. if I could add up to one more character in Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, what kind of persona gimmick? Do you mean like as an abstract? What would I like to bring in, or are you talking about, is there another person or professional wrestling talent? Is that what you're asking us here? Is there another talent that I'd like to bring to Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, or is there or are we talking more in an abstract, a type, an archetype of bad guy, good guy? Um, if you can clarify that question for me, I'll be happy to answer it. But while I'm waiting for Yasir to clarify for me, um, oh, a talent. Okay, yes. There's a, there's so many talents that I want to bring to Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan. Uh, and I could, and I look from the United States and uh, my position here. I look at more than just the big stars. Like for example, um, you know, Lance Archer. I wanted to bring Lance Archer to Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan for World Wrestling Champions. We weren't able uh, to get that accomplished through our agreements with the folks who were handling uh, bringing our talent over, the sponsors that were helping us with that. Uh, and look at how he's already causing a stir in AEW now that he's been signed with them. Hopefully, he'll have a contract that will allow him to come to Pakistan and work for Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan as soon as we've got all of this travel. Um, as soon as we get all this travel business, taken care of. But Lance Archer is someone I'd love to bring. I'd love to bring Barrett Brown, 50 caliber Barrett Brown. I'd love to bring Chandler Hopkins, uh, unholy Isaiah James. I'd love to bring some of the lads that I manage here in the United States and bring guys like the quote unquote Jersey Jackass BC. I'd like to bring Niles Plonk. I'd like to bring Apollo Leon. I'd like to bring Brody Steele, Cowboy Mike Hughes. I mean, I have a list as long as my arm. And yeah, I mean, there's so many tremendously talented people in professional wrestling that to not bring. I mean, I could keep going on. Jerome Daniels, or see, no, it's Jerome Daniels Griffey. Um, Nate Collins. I mean, I just keep going on and on and on. Let's see. Ahmad, I agree. The this is a, I don't know if it's a formula within WWE. I'm not a part of WWE to be able to answer that, but I do feel that when you put support so firmly behind one small collection of talent, then what you end up doing when someone ends up injured or someone ends up not renewing a contract or getting in trouble in some ways that prevents them from being uh, in that forefront, you end up having to scramble to fill the void. Um, you know, by building and growing other talent, you can uh, certainly prevent yourself from falling into those traps. Thank you, Bijan. I appreciate that. And someone else, Malekam Hassan. There we go. I'm fine. Thank you so much. The, let's see. Let's Talent recently released. Ooh, yes. Um, I hope. First, okay, on the talent that was recently released. Um, First and foremost, a lot of this is a larger number of talent that's ever been released after WrestleMania, but WWE traditionally releases talent after WrestleMania. Um, so on one level, the releases are not a shock. The number of releases are certainly a shock. This was obviously the largest release that's ever been done. Um, I feel that a lot of these releases were done solely because of quarantine lockdowns and all of the things that are trimming back at the financial stability of WWE. And I'm not going to cast aspersions or make speculations on what their financial stabilities are. I'm not in their bookkeepings. I know that they made the decisions that they felt were best, and uh, so that's going to be a that's going to be something that it will take it will take its own will, cool, I've lost my train of well, I've not lost my train of thought. I've just kind of stumbled around in the dark for a moment. uh, Let me clarify. uh, Once the lockdowns stop, I think that a number of the talents are going to be brought back to WWE, or at least the ones who have not made plans or arrangements to be other places. Um, I think that if anyone was unhappy with where they were in WWE and what was going on with WWE, they will make themselves available to the independent market and either sign on with AEW, Impact, NWA Power, New Japan Pro Wrestling, any of those. Um, but as uh, far as will we collect any of those, I would love to. I've got a short list of people that I would love to bring to Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan. When is the next event happening in Pakistan? That is going to hinge predominantly on uh, it's going to hinge predominantly on what goes on as far as the economy is concerned. Um, if the economy for for Pakistan and really for the world economy more than because whether or not our sponsors and financial backers can afford to help us bring in a slew of talent, which is what I would love. I would love for our first show after this global pandemic is to just stack the card with as many names as we can, so that it will invigorate the invigorate the fans. It will invigorate our sponsors. It will breathe a different kind of life into Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, because Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan is at a excellent point in uh, their international not career but uh, international journey. There we go. Uh, but it's also it's a very young point. Um, we need our sponsors and we need our financial backers to realize that Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan not only has provided some of the best professional wrestling in Pakistan, but will continue to do so. I would like to not only bring top stars to Pakistan for Professional Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, but I would like to, I think more importantly, I would like to build the talent that we have in Pakistan to the level that when we put them in the ring with all of these amazing people like Rhino and Alberto Del Rio and Sammy Guevara and the Son of Havoc, Matt Cross and JTG, and we as we put people in the ring with all of these internationally recognized names, I want the fans to look at this and go, I don't know who to pick. Not because you're being loyal to the Pakistani wrestler, but because you know the Pakistani wrestler is just as talented and just as gifted in the ring, and will put up a tremendous battle against whomever we place them in the ring with. Because the goal is to grow the talent of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan. Because when we grow the talent of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, then what we do is we create a sense of pride within the people of Pakistan about Professional Wrestling Federation of Pakistan and about Pakistani wrestlers. And if we don't create that, then all we're doing is bringing in international talent to make Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan relevant. And the relevancy is going to be with making the Pakistani wrestlers as important and as relevant as any of the international stars we bring in. All right, this is a long one. I got to read this. I'm sorry, folks. um, was Vince McMahon looking for a reason to fire his talent? Every year, WWE releases talent. I think that if it wasn't for the if it wasn't for the COVID-19 coronavirus quarantine and all of that going on, I don't think the numbers would have been that great. I don't think we would have seen, what is it? It's been like 100, both in the back office and uh, in front of the cameras. Over 100 people released at this point, and some of those people were released under what's called furlough, which it's like being laid off, but there's a promise to bring you back to work after a certain period of time. Usually, I'm sure that if anyone has been furloughed, or I'm sure that if the furlough claims are accurate, the furlough claims are, people, we're going to release you until, things, till things get better. Um, Malcolm Assam's there, Khan. Malcolm Assam, good to see you, my friend. Uh, but you know, as far as Vince looking for reasons to release people, they're independent contractors. He doesn't really need a reason to release them. He can just do it. How long does it take to become a fully trained pro wrestler? I've seen people take years before they've gotten in the ring, and I've seen people get into the ring after 3 to 6 months. Um, some people, when they take years to get in the ring, and they're no better than someone who takes 3 to 6 months. I think it's up to the subjective opinion of the trainer. If the trainer does not see something, if the trainer does not see you catching on, if the trainer doesn't see you, uh, regularly making those proper steps in training so that you can advance in such a way that you are able to perform as a professional wrestler and not do yourself undue harm, then the trainer's got every right to hold you back until they feel that you're in the right place. Um, Training and being trained is very subjective. Um, it's hard for me, especially as someone who's never been a trainer, and I've never been a professional wrestler. I've wrestled before, quote unquote. It's not very good. I've wrestled before, but I've wrestled as a manager in that kind of in that kind of capacity. Uh, but I wouldn't say that I am the right person to determine whether or not someone is determine whether or not someone's taken the appropriate time in the ring until I actually see them either in a practice match or I see them in front of fans. And sometimes, like, wow, that guy really came along fast. He's done a remarkable job. And sometimes, like, oh, this person needs to go back to training. Um, What's the possibility of a training facility like the WWE Performance Center? Are you, Saad, are you asking about a WWE training facility, or are you asking about like a Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan training facility? Um, because I know the Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan does already have a training facility in Pakistan. Um, as far as something where you bring a diverse number of talents in to train like WWE does about that. For some reason, I received a phone call of someone trying to get me to buy something I don't need. Uh, the hazards of using a mobile device for live stream. What's my routine during quarantine? Um, well, right now I'm on a furlough from what I do on a day-to-day basis. So, and I'm also recovering from an injury. At the beginning of February, I was at a TV taping for SWE Fury and missed a step and fell downstairs and severely sprained my ankle. And I am still wearing my boot. As a matter of fact, I'm actually still is not the right word. I'm back to wearing my boot again because I injured myself, and I thought that I was doing better, but swelling still occurs in certain parts of my ankle and my foot. So that has eliminated a lot of exercise routine from me. Um, but I honestly, I spend the thing I do most regularly these days during quarantine is at 8 o'clock Central in the evening. I read stories to children online. Um, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I read from picture books. And then Saturdays and Sundays, I read chapter books. We just finished The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe this past Sunday, and I have been reading Graham Oakley's Church Mice series. I've read Where the Wild Things Are, and we just finished a collection of Paddington Bear stories, and I'm now in the middle of reading Beatrix Potter, little children's books. That's the thing that I'm doing um, most commonly right now. Oh, thank you so much, Yasir. Thank you for all your questions. I appreciate it. I hope that I answered things sufficiently. I have trained. I wouldn't say that I've trained fully to be a professional wrestler. I trained as a manager, and I trained at the XCW Institute uh, in Wills Point, or not Wills Point. Oh, for God's sake, I forgot the name of the. Oh, it was in Denton. The facility had moved to Denton, Texas. So I trained at the XCW Institute in Denton, Texas. After receiving a minor injury I completed my manager training and then focused on being a manager. Um, I had hoped to go back and finish my training as a pro wrestler so that I could do a little bit of a little bit of wrestling. Not that I had any hopes of being in the WWE or anything like that, but mainly due to the fact that I wanted to I make sure that I had a good basis from which to speak when it comes to talking about professional wrestling and what we do. And Sod, I did see that clarification. International trainers. I'd love to bring in international trainers. As a matter of fact, I have one fella in mind right now that as soon as Nami Suleiman tells me that we have the funding to be able to bring in an international trainer, give them room, board, and a stipend, not to mention, paying him or her for their time after everything is said and done. I've got a fella in mind right now. Um, he did a lot of training for uh, Continental Wrestling Entertainment, the Great Khali's company. I think he's a tremendous guy, and I think he's amazingly talented. So, uh, you know, he is every single student that. Uh, hey, Double A Junior,
Hey,
how are you?
hey Nigel, I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I'm doing my best to answer questions as they pop up. Um,
So how are you doing?
so,
What you doing in your quarantine?
what am I doing during quarantine? I'm reading children's stories. Really, I read children's stories online.
Yeah, I saw some videos.
Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed them.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so some of them are definitely for very young children. But the weekends I read yeah, something a little bit more robust. Was We just finished the Chronicles of Narnia: Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe on Sunday. But that's really, I've been in talks with an internet based wrestling company that is uh, they're doing closed house shows and streaming them online. It's a company called Viral Pro, and I've been talking with them, and perhaps we'll be doing some things with them. But aside from that, uh, just a lot of sitting at home and reading. That's really what I've been doing.
So Nigel, now I'm the host of this show. How are you feeling?
I'm sorry. Say again.
I'm the host now of this show.
Absolutely. I'm not.
Yeah.
I was never the host. I was never the host. I'm
So
only so good at being a host.
so Nigel, I heard revival are going to NWA. Is it true?
That I'm sorry. That who's going to
Re-
NWA?
revival.
The revival? It
Yeah,
might be. I mean,
I think it.
the NWA Power really focuses on doing things traditionally, and Revival really had a very solid old school, uh, like Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard kind of style in the ring. So having them go to some place like NWA Power would be a really good fit. Uh, and it would be really brilliant for NWA to snatch the revival up and put them into programs on NWA Power. But I'm really very pleased with what NWA Power has been doing. I'm really quite fond of a number of their talents.
Yeah, I really want to see revival in NWA. They're a great team, but Vince McMahon want to
Yes,
giving this guys funny characters. You know about them?
the whom?
Vince want to try give them a funny character, a funny gimmicks.
Yeah, that's been the rumor, and uh, the rumor actually is that that uh, funny thing was given to the War
Two of these guys,
Raiders,
yeah.
and the War Raiders they just did something just the other night. Uh, that was they were doing like what was it? I think it was carpool karaoke and their war helmets and
Yeah, yeah.
uh, turkey leg and driving and singing 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 songs. Um, it's one of the kind of the things about WWE. You have to be willing to do things. If you're not willing to do things that they want you to do creatively, you end up in a position where um, they're going to release you. It's a old standing statement in professional wrestling that if you're unwilling to do something, all the promoter needs to do is look behind you, and there's going to be one guy behind you who's willing to do it. Um, you know, some people forget that as much as wrestling is a sport, especially in the United States and in some of the Western countries, professional wrestling is as much a sport as it is entertainment. So if you're not willing to step out of those molds creatively, you end up missing out on an opportunity. You miss out on an opportunity enough times, and you're going to be pushed out the door. I mean, do I think it was a wise decision to get rid of the Revival? Not necessarily. I think the Revival was a tremendous tag team. At the same time, uh, if that's what WWE creative and Vince McMahon wanted, then you you kind of make your own bed in that situation.
O- Okay, now we are focusing on comments. Can you tell me what was the last comment you answered?
Um, I was replying to see, I believe it was Saad Assad, who had clarified saying that he wanted to see international trainers coming to Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, and I was answering that as soon as we get the green light for that, I've got people in mind. I've got actually a number of people in mind. Uh, you know, but it's all a matter of economics as far as that's concerned. I have not answered this question here from Salam Rizvi. It's a
Salman
possibility
Rizvi,
of, let's see, Okada and Naito
NATO.
signing. Um, Professional wrestling in Japan is a completely different animal than professional wrestling in the United States. Um, it depends on what Okada and Nato are looking for personally, professionally. If they are looking for a solid stake in the United States as far as getting that kind of recognition and getting that kind of financial reward, then yeah, I think they definitely do it. If they are amongst the wrestlers that look at what WWE puts on as being less intense than what New Japan or All Japan or Noah or any of the other amazing wrestling companies in Japan, uh, you know, then they probably wouldn't. But it really depends on what the wrestlers themselves are looking for. And unfortunately, I've not yet been to Japan, so I don't know Okada or Naito. Uh, I couldn't answer.
Yeah, Nigel, we also see a New Japan branch in United States. In
Yes.
rock and roller participant in. I remember.
Yeah. the New Japan. I'm very excited about the potential of the of New Japan growing in the United States. I've got several friends who have done some work with them, and I think if New Japan actually invests in becoming a product in the United States, I think a number of existing companies are going to realize that there's a much broader scope of competition. The good thing about that is that means that everyone is going to have to step their game up. That means WWE is going to have to step their game up. It means that Impact's going to have to step their game up. AEW is going to have to continue to grow. Uh, so the, uh, the more that the more talent that we have, and the more places where talent can earn a living on a main stage like WWE, Impact, AEW, the better I think it is for the entire industry. And I saw there was a comment there. Someone was telling me God would heal me. Bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. God
Okay,
is good
Nigel.
and merciful.
Nigel, I want to about one person,
Hmm.
Dave Meltzer.
I'm sorry,
Dave Meltzer. I want to know about him. Dave Meltzer. Dave.
Dave Metzler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've never met Dave. I've never met Dave. I have some people who are acquaintanced with him, but I've never met Dave. Um, he has historically been very instrumental in growing professional wrestling in his own way. But I don't know him to be able to speak on it.
Okay, Saad Asad is said any tryouts in major cities of Pakistan.
I would love for there to be more tryouts in major cities in Pakistan, because Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, as I was saying, for it to grow into the entity that we need it to be, we need to start opening up the possibilities of bringing people from all over Pakistan. That's the that's also the only way that we're going to create the sense of national pride within Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan that we need to help grow the company. That's one of the things that uh, that is kind of unique in a company like Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, because there's not really been anything quite like it. There have been other people who have attempted to do some similar things, and they've done very well in their own right. But Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan has put itself on the international stage, and in putting itself on the international stage, that opens the company up to people looking at us as if we're suddenly all about what's international and not about national pride. Um, so we need to make sure that Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan continues to cultivate that sense of national pride, because we are one of the most historical companies in professional wrestling, not just worldwide, but most importantly in Pakistan, because we are Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan. If we don't grab hold of the national imagination and get the people of Pakistan to have a sense of pride about us as a company because we're the Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, then we'd have to focus on using international talents exclusively to grow and build our company. And while that's good for big shows, it's not good for day-to-day basis. Would I ever allow my children to break into the dangerous wrestling business? Um, I unfortunately don't have any children. My the former Mrs. Rabid and I. She had or she has a daughter, formerly my stepdaughter. My stepdaughter at one point wanted very much to be a wrestler. Um, if she were to come to me today and say that, uh, if she were to come to me today and say that she wanted to be a professional wrestler, um, I, I don't know that I would discourage her from it. Um, I would, of course, talk it over with her mom and her dad and make sure that they're okay with it. Um, but I don't have a problem with uh, my were I to have an offspring. I wouldn't have a problem with having any of my children involved in professional wrestling. I just make sure that they get into professional wrestling, one, the right ways, and two, through the right people. Uh, Ahmad, why have I not given a try to WWE, Impact, AEW, or New Japan Pro Wrestling? Mostly because I don't know all the gatekeepers to try and open those doors. I was, amusingly enough, I was in the process of putting together an interview for an application for WWE on their recruit page, but that was not last, the week before last. And what with a lockdown and everything else going on, I don't see there being any opportunities right now. But I will say with what we're doing here stateside with SWE Fury and the opportunities that that's growing, uh, uh, I, I'm I think I'm in a not the best place, but I think I'm in a good place.
Okay, Rio Adam is saying uh, it's not that much dangerous if you are fully trained like Brock Lesnar.
Um, no, I disagree entirely. The business is completely dangerous. Um, Now, no matter what your understanding of professional wrestling is, it is a dangerous sport. Being trained just means that you know what you're doing, but that doesn't mean that things don't happen. You
Okay,
know,
Saud bin Afid is saying I stopped watching WWE because it's fake, and I hope PWF will prove me wrong.
I'm sure Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan will prove you wrong. Professional wrestling is as much an art form as it is a combative sport. And I really feel that statements like fake are oversimplifications. Uh, WWE does things a certain way. Every company has something that they do differently to make themselves stand out in comparison to WWE or any other points of competition. I think that what Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan has the best opportunity to do is to prove to Pakistan and to the international community that uh, professional wrestling in Pakistan a um, is a real competitor on an international and national stage.
Okay, Ahmad Asif is saying, will Alberto Del in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Do I think he deserves to be? Absolutely. Alberto Del Rio is a tremendously talented star. We saw that when he was at World Wrestling Champions this past December. He was an amazing talent. It was incredible to work with him. Um, do I think WWE will put him in the Hall of Fame? It depends on who's in charge of making that decision. Because there are some people in professional wrestling who have got a reputation for being a little biased. They promote people based off of whether or not they like the person. And there are some persons within WWE uh, that don't care for Alberto, um, which is more is the pity.
Okay, Soulbin Afridi is saying Peshawar people also have talent of wrestling with amazing bodies. Peshawar is our a city in Pakistan.
Pashar is who?
He's saying uh, wait, Peshawar people have wait, wait.
Okay, well, the Pashar people have
Peshawar. He's saying Peshawar people also have talent of wrestling with amazing bodies.
I will have to take Ifridi's word on that. I don't know that I have any personal experience outside of casual experience with meeting any Peshawar people. Um, it's one of the it's one of the unfortunate side effects of only having been able to be to Pakistan now twice. Is I only know so much about the Pakistani people, and I don't get me wrong. I love the Pakistani people. I love Pakistan. Everyone has been wonderful to me, but as far as my knowledge on its diverse people, I don't have much. I'm sorry. Uh,
Okay, Ahmad Asif is saying, sir, it's a completely injustice getting the Bellas inducted into WWE Hall of Fame before the Hardys, The Rock, The Undertaker, The Chris Jericho, Christian, and Tommy Dreamer, and Sabu.
um, I don't disagree with you. At the same time, I think that the part of the reason why WWE has done that is because the Bellas have, I think, fully retired from professional wrestling. They've not made a big deal of it, but I think they've stepped away. Whereas the Hardys, Tommy Dreamer, uh, Chris Jericho, Christian, The Rock, The Undertaker, they have not stepped away. Right now, I think the only thing the Bellas are doing is their Totally Bellas show. That's it. It's the only WWE product that they've got any association with. So I think that I think that their induction into the Hall of Fame has more to do with the fact that they have effectively stepped away from the business, whereas everyone else that you listed, everyone else is still active in professional wrestling. Tommy is very active on the indie scene. Chris Jericho, obviously, with AEW. The Undertaker with his regular appearances at WrestleMania and his appearances at the Super Showdowns. So, uh,
Okay, Nigel, we are
mhm.
hearing many news about Jeff Hardy. Is WWE
Yes,
giving him a big push? Is
is
WWE giving him a big push? Jeff Hardy?
Jeff Hardy?
Yeah, yeah.
I am not. I'll be honest. I'm not aware of what's going on with Mr. Hardy. I I think Jeff Hardy is a tremendously talented person who has done a lot of unfortunate damage to his body, and as a result of the unfortunate damage to his body, he has found ways uh, to cope with his um, his uh, pains and his injuries in fashions that make him a harder person for me to uh, to follow and pay attention to. Um, Now, no disrespect to him in any way, shape, or form. He's done some amazing, amazing things. He's really created a spectacle in professional wrestling. but I don't follow him, and I don't pay attention to what he does. It's just not something that is not something that's my.
Okay, Ahmad Asif is saying the Bellas are just beautiful glamour ladies, like the model girls. They've never been the great wrestlers.
I'm not going to agree or disagree with that. What I will say that the Bellas have done is, as a result of the Bellas and their involvement in the beginning of the women's movement in professional wrestling, they have really they really helped make women's wrestling into what it is today. Are they tremendous competitors? No. um, but they did they did something important. They were a part of the business when WWE went from being, or more probably when WWE's women's wrestlers went from largely being glamour girls into real athletes, and they did a fair job with that. They weren't. I mean, say what you like about whether or not they were tremendously talented or what have you. Um, you don't get to certain places in companies like WWE for no reason. There is a reason. We may not necessarily be privy to it, but they did make an indelible mark on professional wrestling. And if it wasn't for the Bellas, I don't know that WWE would have gotten quite the mainstream attention that it got because of things like Total Divas and then later Total Bellas. So uh, their contribution to professional wrestling may not necessarily have been in the ring, but it doesn't make them less deserving. I I mean, Drew Carey, President Trump, they're in the Hall of Fame. And the Bellas did more wrestling than either one of them.
Okay, Ahmad Asif is saying, I think so. The so-called self-proclaimed WWE's Women Evolution started way back in TNA during the tenure 2016 to 2012.
I agree and disagree. I agree in the fact that women's professional wrestling started becoming more serious with the TNA, now called Impact's women's division, and their women's division was really hitting hard. They were doing some tremendous things, some incredible things. Um, you know, the former Mrs. Rabid, who was also involved in professional wrestling with me, she was very high on early. Well, let me rephrase that. This is very high. No, she was very positive about women's wrestling, especially with what TNA was doing, Impact was doing during that spectrum of time. Uh, so yes, TNA certainly did create a well, not create, it proved that women's wrestling should be treated as seriously as men's wrestling. But WWE's women's evolution, women's revolution, that is purely WWE. And that came from a change within WWE. Whether or not they did it because they saw what Impact was doing and said, huh, maybe we could start turning our women talent into actual wrestling talent and do something incredible there. I'm not privy to whether or not that was the conversation, but I do know that WWE have really taken a tremendous step forward in making women equal wrestlers with men and doing a remarkable job.
So Nigel, you don't think Taya Valkyrie is underrated wrestler in indie?
Say again?
Taya Valkyrie is underrated wrestler in indie. You don't think Taya
I don't think.
Valkyrie? Taya Valkyrie is most underrated wrestler.
No, I don't think Ty is an underrated wrestler. I think she might be underutilized, but I don't know that she's underrated. Ty is a tremendous athlete. I've been lucky enough to uh, meet with her and chat with her once or twice. Um, she's a remarkable athlete, and one of the things to bear in mind is, she's gotten a lot of attention in places like Impact, Lucha Underground. The problem with saying that someone is underrated, it, if you are at a point where people can take a look at you and can say, "Wow, that person is really incredible," or "Let's put a belt on this person. Let's let them be a figurehead for our company." It's really hard for me to say that that person's underrated. Uh, yeah, underutilized. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a number of underutilized talent that just got released from WWE. Um, you know, it's easy to be underutilized. I don't know it's quite as easy to be underrated because the fans the fans notice talent.
Okay, Rio Adam is asking one question: which wrestling promotion have the best talent world in the term of wrestling, not entertainment? Is it WWE, NWA, NJPW, or some Mexican promotion?
Who has the best talent, the best talent in the world in the terms of wrestling, not terms of entertainment? I don't know that I could specify down to one particular company. And the reason why I don't think that I could specify down to one particular company is because every single company has been dipping into and grabbing incredible talents. I mean, just take a look at what AWE did with picking up my friend Lance Archer and the tremendous abilities that Lance Archer has. But then you take a look at NWA, and you have got guys like Nick Aldis, and you've got Tim Storm, and you've got Ricky Starks, and you've got
And Eli
I can't,
Drake, Wade Barrett, and Stu Bennett, and sometimes I
yeah,
saw Matt Cross and Rock and Roll Express.
yeah. No, I mean, it, there's so much talent out there that it's really very difficult to say one company has better talent than others. It really depends on what flavor of professional wrestling you enjoy best, is to determine whether or not that company has the best talent for you.
Okay, Ahmad Asif is saying, unfortunately, TNA's fate was similar to WCW. They were really producing the best wrestling product during 2016 to 2012. They were really ahead. They had the legends like Sting, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, etc.
Um, I can disagree, Amon. As a matter of fact, there is a book written by R.D. Reynolds and was it I think Brian Alvarez, entitled the Death of WCW, and he released I think it was a 10th anniversary hardback, and the hardback had a extra like extra two chapters, and the two chapters were about how TNA was following the same unfortunate formulas that WCW was following. Um, I think TNA's biggest mistake is the first thing they did is when they had the opportunity to go head to head with WWE, they went head to head with WWE. I don't think they should have done that. I understand why Eric Bischoff made that decision, but it didn't it didn't pan out. They didn't have the financial backing that they needed to be able to grow themselves that way.
Okay, Ahmad Asif is saying, sir, please recruit the rabbit to PWFP.
We tried. As a matter of fact, he was supposed to be at World Wrestling Champions, but we ended up with some complications that made it impossible for him to make the trip to Pakistan. But he is in our Rolodex. We do want to bring him into Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan. We had planned to. He just ended up having some complications and some conflicts that just made it difficult for us to do that. It's really crazy hearing me be quiet, isn't it?
Okay, Riordan is saying, well, Pakistan are nice, are very nice and loving people, and their hospitality is awesome. You should visit. You will not be disappointed.
Rio Adam, I've been twice, and I was in Pakistan in see actually oh double A, it'll be almost a year.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, the 29th will be when I no wait no the 24th will be when I departed the United States to go to Pakistan for Rumble in Pakistan. So Rio Adam, I've been and I was at Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan's show at Dreamworld Resorts World Wrestling Champions. So I've been no Pakistani people have been absolutely wonderful to me. I miss I miss Pakistan. I can't wait to come back. No. Double A knows. Wait, there we go. There, Double A knows. He's seen me there. We've had dinner.
yeah. I remember we were in a.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we took the question.
It,
Okay, Nigel, I think we have to end this session.
okay.
Okay,
Well,
hopefully you enjoyed the session,
oh, I
and
did. I did. Yeah. I want to say thank you to all the fans of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan for participating and having me on the show. Uh,
okay, I want to know something about. So you are now the officially CEO of this company. So
yes.
can you tell you how you feeling?
Uh, as far as being the official COO, I'm very excited. I think that uh, I think that with the leadership of Nami Suleiman and Kami, and with my assistance and with our association with Lamont Williams of DFW All Pro and VIP Wrestling, I think that we can really help to grow Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan into being exactly what we have been saying we want it to be. You know, a company that appeals on the national level for the people of Pakistan, but also opens up doors internationally. Because I really feel that doing things like this will not only help professional wrestling and help Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, but I really think that it will help to do things to show the Pakistani people as what I've come to know them as warm and wonderful human beings who deserve to not only be respected but loved on an international stage.
Okay, now we have to end this session, and I'm very enjoy with you.
Thank you so much, Double A. I enjoyed spending this time with you as well. And again, I want to thank all of the fans of Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan for participating and for making me feel very welcome.
ओके, अगर आप सब भी बोर हो रहे हैं इस क्वारंटाइन में तो आप भी नाइजर की स्टोरी सुने और entertain yourself. Now, Allah Hafiz.
Hello.
Faddy,
Hey, are you there?
I think so. Hang on. I think I accidentally turned the camera off. Hang on. Let me.
Oh, तो ये आज का सेशन था और मैं आज जो है वो सेशन में नहीं आ सका क्योंकि कुछ इंटरनेट इश्यूज की वजह से। और नाइजर दोबारा।
There we go.
Hello. Hello, 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 hello.
Hey, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you
Double A
too.
was saying we were finished, and then all of a sudden you pop up. So good to see you.
I was having some internet issues.
Oh, I don't think the world was prepared. I don't think the world was prepared for all the people being on the
It,
internet all the time now.
it was a surprise for you and the people.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think the craziest thing about all of this, the quarantine and the lockdown, is the number of people who started working from home, and suddenly all of these companies are like, oh no, we don't know what it's like. You didn't have infrastructure set up for. We just didn't expect the world to shut down. Well, no one expects it. That's why you're supposed to plan for it in case it happens. You don't expect it. You just let's hope not, but let's set up. But how are you?
I'm great. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm all right.
I was watching your live streaming and I enjoyed your stream.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I I enjoy talking. It's one of the few things I do really well.
अमाद आसिफ सिंह कैसे हो फैडी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अमाद मैं ठीक ठाक हूँ और जबरदस्त oh we have a guest Nastika is here
Nastico! Nastico Minaj, my good and dear friend. Uh, Nastico is a remarkable individual. He has been doing, and I've told him this personally. I will now say it here on the live stream so that it can be heard on an international stage. I've been very impressed with him. He has really worked very hard to make a name for himself and put himself out there. He has in his I want to say now he's in his uh, third year, I think. Master, correct me if I'm wrong. If it's, but I think he's in his third, maybe his fourth year. But he has already traveled more within the state of Texas than I had by my fourth year, and he's done a tremendous job of building himself and building the product of Nastico. He's done a remarkable job, and I hate to admit it out loud, but he's also been doing a very good job.
Hello,
So,
everybody!
we have another guest we have another
So,
guest
how are you, Nigel?
it's good to see you, Panda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing now. This is unique for me because I see that you two lads have signed into my friend Nastico's promo challenge.
Yeah, we
yes
are.
Excellent,
yes we are
excellent,
taking a part
wonderful, wonderful. No, it's
let's
just, yeah.
see
I was
let's see who's
in
gonna
the
win
first promo challenge. I was in the first promo challenge, and
So, any tip for us? Any tips?
any tips? Um,
Yep.
make sure because I know one of the judges is picky. Make sure that when you cut your promos and you do your videos, make sure you edit it so that it looks clean, it looks good. Check sound quality. Don't send something up that's got poor sound quality. And
Okay.
have energy. If you don't have energy when you're doing a promo, and if you don't sound interested in what you're saying, if you don't sound interested in what you're doing, the people listening are not going to want to pay
So, I have
attention.
to do the whole thing all over again now.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, I thought it was just
Yeah.
like I watched the videos of before, and now some guys have sent it and he uploaded it. So I thought it was just any video just I should upload it, but now you said it, I have to go through all over again.
Well, take a look at he didn't. I thought he was going to win the last one. We
Who won?
had the last one was won by Dill Dempsey. But
Yes,
I
yes, yes,
thought
yes, yes. Dale
I
Dempsey
thought
was the
that
winner.
Isaiah James was going to win.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
haven't if you haven't watched what Isaiah James and Insidious one, the Insidious one, and what they were
Yeah.
doing,
I have
remarkably
seen some
creative.
of the promos of Isaiah James. He's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
He's
I
great.
did. I also did.
yeah, they took things to such a level that I was just absolutely surprised.
Okay.
Now,
So I was thinking about that. How much it going to be long? Like 1 minute or 1.5?
I
Almost in a one
think
minute.
I think first round is 1 minute.
Yes.
1 minute.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
And
Okay.
one
what
of
about second round?
that. I hate to say it like this. That depends on Nastico and his creative genius. And I really
True.
hate to call Nastico a creative genius, but no, he's been very clever about it. He's done some very good things with it, and he's made people think in different directions. One he actually came to me and asked me if I wanted to be involved in the second tournament, and instead, after conversation, I got to be on the panel of judges. But uh, what I had done, because one of the things that you have to do when you're doing a promo in a tournament like this is you have to do something to make yourself stand out. You have to do something to make people take notice of you. And you know what I did my first round is I started cutting a lot. I cut a promo that was just nothing but praise and putting over
Okay.
my opponent. And it wasn't done in a I'm going to beat you. It wasn't. No, it's just like I'm just going to tell
I
you all
have
the
seen
great
your
things about this
promo
guy. Yeah.
from the first
And
tournament.
with Insidious Follower, it was harder because Insidious Follower is such an it's such an enigma that it's really hard to put over. All I could do was talk about how terrifying the Insidious Follower was, and that's how I put her over was uh, October 2018.
October
Oh my goodness,
2018.
wow, uh, that's your start date, Nasty. Nastico is October 2018. Good grief! Oh my goodness, he's he's made a lot of. I mean, he's made a lot of ground in just 2 years. He's done tremendous. Uh,
Which is amazing.
Might I
Ahmad,
ask you
I
things,
am.
neither, sir, if
Uh,
you don't mind, what's your age?
I'm I'm an old man in comparison to these young pups.
No,
I'm
Yeah.
you are a young man.
I am not. I'm 44. Doesn't make me ancient.
Stop lying, Nigel. You're
No,
28. I know
You're
it.
not
I know it.
44. You're
I
almost 28, 29.
I wish. Oh, it'd be so nice to be so young. No, I'm 44. I'll be 45 later this year. So
You look
I'm
28, 29.
well. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's the lighting in here. It hides the gray. Uh, because
No,
with
no,
with
no,
the
no.
with the lockdown, I haven't been able to go and get things a little tuned up on the singer.
But lights are working now.
I'm sorry.
Lights are working then.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal. It's always want good lighting. You always want good lighting. But the I got you're welcome, Mastica. I got into the wrestling business later, Mont. I got in the wrestling business 11 years ago. Um, and when I got
11
into the wrestling
years.
business, yeah, when I got in, I did not get in with the intention of being a wrestler. I didn't even get in with the intention of being a manager. I got in because a friend of mine and I were doing, well, a friend of mine and I were working together, and he got a job working for a little company called North Texas Wrestling Alliance. And the North Texas Wrestling Alliance, they were doing live broadcasts, or well, not live broadcasts. They were doing live. They were doing live house mics, and much
Oh,
like what I do when I come to Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan and do commentary with either Omar or Waqas. We do the commentary over the microphone for the fans as if they were watching it on TV. And that's how I got. That's how I got into uh, professional wrestling, was doing that. Um,
I've watched your matches. You do wrestle, right?
I have wrestled. I wouldn't say I do wrestle. That would be an
So,
insult to
Yes,
wrestling.
yes, he had Russell in a
I mean,
tag team match,
so,
maybe.
I've
so
done.
how was the experience?
Um, I'm really out of shape. uh, um, let's see. Let's see. Who have I wrestled? I've wrestled. I've wrestled in a tag team match. I was tag teaming with John Saxon, who is a former NWA World. Was it light heavyweight, light cruiserweight? It's a cruiserweight light heavyweight
Yeah, yeah,
championship. I
cruiserweight
apologize
champion.
to the. I apologize to the NWA for screwing up their title name. Um, but I tagged with John, and John and I tagged against Vordell Walker and Short Sleeve Sampson. And both of those guys hit so bloody hard. And you would think that you would think that you know you would think that maybe Short Sleeve would have a lighter touch than Vordell, given his stature. That is not accurate. Because I ended up in another match. I ended up in a Short Sleeve was in a match where if he won the match, he got 5 minutes alone in the ring with me, and he won. And Short Sleeve beat me from pillar to post. Um, that fella hits hard. I don't care what anybody says about Short Sleeve Sampson. He is very, very competent at beating ass. Um, and Nastigo says it's 1 minute or less
Yeah.
for his promo.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Um,
Frida Bafem Kasi, she's saying hi Nigel, whom you supporting or looking up to from PWFP for the tournament.
ooh, um,
I think
I don't.
you're supporting me.
I don't. Well, see, and that's the difficult thing about being the COO is really what I want is I want for whomever to win this tournament to be the best person to represent the company, so that we can continue to uh, to grow Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan. Um, and the problem is that
That's a
I think
clever answer, you know?
well, I think that everybody involved in the tournament is that type of athlete. So
Yeah.
it really depends on it really at this point depends on who wants it the most. You know, I definitely know that I know that
You say
Faddy's got the determination. I know that Panda's got the heart for it. We both know, or we all know, that Raja Naveed is just one of those guys that will put his physical well-being on the line, not just to win a tournament, but for the sake of the company. So there's And then I'm not even talking about guys like Shere Khan or Danny or there's so many tremendous young talents in Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan that it's really hard for me to do anything but put everybody in an objective box and go, you got to do it. Camera, dyslexia and cameras. There we go. You got to keep things in here. And if I put my personal emotions into it, then I end up doing someone a disservice. Because there could be someone that because I've got a good personal relationship with both you guys. Well, if I push for you guys to win, it may not be the right time. And I'm not the fella to determine the right time. You guys determine the right time. It's through your talent, your heart, and your perseverance in the ring. And October 2018. See, this is why he pisses me off. He's been doing a remarkable job since October 2018. He's not even been full 2 years in the business, and he's already making all of these lovely waves for himself. I'm horribly jealous of him and exceptionally proud of him at the same time. And I've said that out loud on the internet, and now that'll never go away. Damn it.
Look what Ashley is saying. Hey, boys. It means you're a boy.
Absolutely.
Boy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just happen to be an old boy.
Okay, मोहम्मद अवेश जेड इज सेइंग फहद भाई जवाब नहीं देते। मैं दे रहा हूँ सर, मैं जवाब दे रहा हूँ आपको, और मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि साथ साथ जवाब दूं। So, Nastika Manaj is saying Raja Ferry versus Nate Collins. Yes, my opponent for the promo.
Man, that's going to be a hard one.
DFW?
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one for me because I love both of you. I love. Thank you. Nate's one of those. He is one of the most laid back cats I have ever met. And let's see if I can. Every time I see him, he's like, man, Nigel, you like one of my favorite people, Nigel. I love you, man. I love you too, man. Nigel, everything's just great. It's so great to be around. We're gonna, why didn't you want me in the Rabid Empire, Nigel? It's not that I didn't want you, Nate. It's that I didn't know you yet. Man, Nigel, now I'm with the Don Mob, but I can't leave the Don Mob. I know, and it pains me greatly. that's a regular conversation between Nate and I. Nate's Nate reminds me a lot of Raja Naveed. Raja Naveed reminds me of Nate because they both have that remarkable heart. Now, Raja, you both remember in in the Rumble in Pakistan, Raja Naveed broke his leg in his match with Sammy Guevara, and then he went out as the number one contestant or competitor in the in the Rumble. And was in the ring for what?
Yes.
20, 30 minutes. Well, I don't know many people who have that heart, that as Gorilla Monsoon would say, testicular fortitude to go to the ring and wrestle with a broken leg, knowing full well that at any point. So he could be irrevocably damaged, and his career in wrestling cut completely short. And yet he did it. So he's and Nate's got that same kind of heart, that same kind of love and he's driven not just by his love for the business, but he's driven by the love for his kids. He's a remarkable person. I can't wait for you guys to meet him, and meet him you shall someday.
Sure,
I
sure.
hope. I hope. Saud bin Afridi saying thanks for giving us the time as much time. Thank you, sir.
Oh
आपने भी
no,
हमें time दिया.
no, thank you for having me.
Yasir Guru saying we can't hear you guys. Everyone hearing us, but you can't.
You
Check
should
your
change
internet,
your
boy.
headphones. You should change your hand trees. You
My
should buy a
headphones?
new one.
No, not yours.
No, no.
Yasir's. We are saying to Yasir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ah.
Net calling
Need
is in a building.
Is is Mr. Collins watching us now?
Really?
Is he?
Concrete Cowboy, if you're
Nastigo
listening, give
is
us a
saying
holler.
by yes. Net calling. Oh, Nastigo is saying my word is for Double A Junior. Mask? Just because of a mask? Just
Yeah,
because it's a
Lucha
luchador?
Brothers.
Racism.
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 Yes.
Racism.
Yeah, true.
Masked people versus unmasked people. It's a whole race now. I guess maybe
Izama
bigotry.
Fenkasi. She's saying who is Fahad, by the way. मेरा जो नाम है वो Fahad है. My name is Fahad, and my ring name is Faddy. Nigel says to me my ring name. He pronounced my name as Faddy. I'm correct? Am I correct?
Yes, Faddy.
But I love when you say Faddy, because my mom's used to call me Faddy.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. Yasir Pavising, Nomi Suleiman signs me up right now. We can sign the contract later sometime. I'm all in for this tournament.
If you're a trained competitor, awesome. If you're not a trained competitor, God bless.
Ahmad Asif is saying you really have a great communication skills. Yes,
Thank
he
you.
is.
Thank you very much.
Yes, he have.
It's literally talking is, I think, the only thing I do well. And if you pay attention to Nastico will tell you that I don't communicate very well. I say too much.
What Nastigo is saying? He said, I hear you guys very well. Yasser is an idiot.
Yeah, we know it. We
That's
really know.
that's Nastico making friends and influencing people. That's that's how Nastico makes friends.
Oh,
You see
Guys,
Double A Junior making you a lot of money. I I mean I can understand that. I can understand that. I think Double A Junior might have loyalty more towards, I don't know, somewhat of a bit more British persuasion, but neither here nor there.
Yes, if there is any chance we can see a promo, by the way, Nigel, and between Nigel and Panda, I really wanna someone whoop Panda's butt. You wanna see
you mean like
Panda's butt.
you mean like in the promo tournament?
Nigel, you won, bro. You won.
Oh, he's challenging you. He's telling you right now.
I give up. I give up. Like, see, I give up.
Let's do it right now.
I think we're already done. I think we're already done. Panda has realized that he is far too close to extinction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nastico, you are right.
There is always a prize, Nigel. You know that.
Everybody's got a price, and everybody's going to pay.
True.
Ah.
So it was great to have you here in the live stream. And
Yeah.
so we have to end the live stream here. It's so bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
already?
cry.
Well, it's
Yes.
just 1 hour and 4 minutes.
But I don't want to go. It
I
means I
also
have to
don't
do
want to
help.
go.
Means I
Mr.
have to.
Mr. Stark, Mr.
Means
Stark,
I
I don't want to go.
means I have to do housework then. I don't want to do housework.
Okay, Nigel. Let me teach you something in in Punjabi. It's my language.
You're gonna get me in trouble, aren't you?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Say tusi
I'm sorry, say again.
tusi
To see?
Tusi, not
na
pussy. Tusi.
Na?
tusi na
To see na?
jao.
To see na jao?
Ah, it mean it means you don't go.
I don't go.
Yes,
To see na?
tusi na
Tusi
jao.
na jao.
To see na jao? To see na
Yeah.
jao?
No.
No, I'm gonna stick around. See, never ever
Okay.
let
Okay.
never let Nastico teach you Spanish. You'll learn things that are not the right things.
Okay, let's try one
Alright.
more time.
To see na jao?
It's
No.
tum na jao.
No. In Punjabi say mera
Mira?
naam
Mera naam?
Nigel
Nigel? Mera naam
A.
Nigel?
A.
A? Mera naam Nigel A?
It means your name
It-
is Nigel.
My name is Nigel. Basically, if you
Yes, my
exactly
name is
translate
Nigel.
it, it's so you should learn Urdu. You know.
I and you know what's the worst part about me is we'll get done with this and I'll go into the other room and I'll yell at my dogs and I'll have lost everything. It's,
Oh.
So are we ending it or?
No,
Uh,
we have to end right now.
we have to end
Why?
right now.
Why?
Right now.
No,
Yes.
no.
I'm willing to bet that he's heard from higher powers that said go to bed.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Suleiman has the power to send us to bed without any
Yes.
supper apparently.
So thank you for being with us in live stream,
Yeah.
and I
Thank
will
you so
miss you.
much,
I'll miss
Nigel.
you.
Oh no, I miss you guys. Thank you so much for having me, both of you guys.
Thank you.
You know, you guys are so great.
I love
I
you.
can't wait to be.
I love you.
I can't wait to be back.
Just stop. Okay, we have to stop.
Let's end it right here.
It's gonna be one of those things where we say goodbye for the next hour. I've had those phone conversations. I'm good at this because we'll have to say goodbye for the next hour. By the way, remind me. But so that we can actually get to an end point. I just want to say thank you to Double A Junior, and I want to say thank you to RJ Faddy and Panda for taking on the duties of hosting me. I know that I am. It's like trying to herd cats, and I really want to say thank you to all of the Pro Wrestling Federation fans for all of their questions. I want to say thank you to Nastico for popping in, and some shout outs to him and to Nate Collins. And of course, I want to thank Kami and I want to thank Nami Suleiman for all of their leadership and for inviting me to be a part of this. Because without them and without their decision to bring me to Pro Wrestling Federation of Pakistan, none of this would have been possible. So I really am thankful and very grateful. Oh, and thank you to all of our friends over at Dream World Resorts for making our two big international shows possible.
Yes.
Without their amazing team, we would not be able to put on these incredible shows. And we look forward to doing more and more and more and more until professional wrestling and Pakistan are synonymous. Uh, Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I love you.
Love you too, mates. Love you both.
Yeah, I love you.
Thank you, brother.
Be
Allah
good,
Hafiz.
guys.
Allah Hafiz.
Bye bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
So, पांडा कैसा लगा
लेट हो
आज का
गया
सेशन?
लेट हो
मैं
गया
खुद लेट हो गया। मैं खुद लेट हो गया। मेरा जो है वो नेटवर्क जो है वो प्रॉब्लम कर रहा था बहुत, और मेरा
अभी
लैपटॉप भी जो है वो
फोन से ऑनलाइन हो
हाँ, अब जो है मसला ये हुआ कि स्टार्ट में मैंने लैपटॉप से ट्राई किया, लैपटॉप जो है वो उसने इंटरनेट जो है वो मैसेज भी किया, मैंने किया था, वो रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दे रहा था। फिर मैंने अपने मोबाइल से ट्राई किया, वो भी मोबाइल भी रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दे रहा था। फिर मुझे भाई का मोबाइल लेकर आना पड़ा और फिर उससे मैं जो है वो अभी लाइव हूँ। हाँ, बड़ा पंगा, बहुत पंगा हुआ है।
चलो इजाजत।
पांडा एक मैसेज है, एक मैसेज है।
इसको ब्लॉक कर दो। चलो भाई
थैंक यू
सब
आने के लिए।
ज्वाइन किया और मैं लेट हो गया तो उसके लिए सॉरी, और इंशाल्लाह फिर मुलाकात होती है। अल्लाह हाफिज।
थैंक यू वेरी मच गाइस, आप लोगों ने जो ये सेशन एंजॉय किया, और मैं थोड़ा लेट हो गया, मुझे बड़ा अफसोस हो रहा है कि मैं जो है वो बहुत लेट पहुंचा। मुझे लेकिन नेटवर्क इश्यूज की वजह से जो है मैं नहीं आ पाया, क्योंकि क्वारंटीन चल रहा है। क्वारंटीन की वजह से जो है हर कोई घर पे नेट यूज़ कर रहा है, तो यही मसला हो रहा है। और पिछले कुछ दिनों से सेम मसला चल रहा है, क्या बोल रहे हैं नासिगो, रिमेंबर टू योर डू योर प्रॉमिस। यस आई विल सेंड यू inshallah after this stream I will send you, और इंशाल्लाह फिर जो है कल मुलाकात होगी एक नए गेस्ट के साथ, और होप उम्मीद करते हैं कि कल का सेशन अच्छा होगा। और आज का सेशन तो ज़बरदस्त हुआ ही हुआ है, और आप लोगों ने मुझे मिस भी किया, और मैंने जो है वो कमेंट्स पढ़ रहा था मैं आपके, क्योंकि नेटवर्क जो है वो मैं जब भी लाइव आने की कोशिश कर रहा था तो वो जो है मुझे ब्लॉक कर रहा था स्ट्रीम से। मुझे नहीं पता वो क्या मसला हो रहा, शायद नेटवर्क का भी मसला हो रहा होगा। तो अगर आप लोगों ने अभी तक हमारे जो फेसबुक पेज है उसे लाइक नहीं किया, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जाके आप हमारा फेसबुक पेज लाइक कर लें। उसके बाद जो हमारे यूट्यूब के चैनल है उसमें हमारे आपको जो है हमारे जितने भी मैचेस हैं और जितनी भी एक्टिविटीज़ हैं वहाँ पर आपको मिलेंगी, आप वहाँ जाके हमारे मैचेस वगैरह देख सकते हैं। और थैंक यू, आप लोगों ने इतने सारे क्वेश्चन जो ये पूछे हैं। और अगर आप मुझे फॉलो करना चाहते हैं तो आप मुझे इंस्टाग्राम पे फॉलो कर सकते हैं @RJ PWFP पाकिस्तान के नाम से इंस्टाग्राम पे। और Nigel is saying, do your promos. Not here, not right now. I will, after the stream, I will record my promo. I will send you. Okay? तो अगर आप लोगों ने जो है मुझे ट्विटर पे फॉलो नहीं किया तो आप मुझे ट्विटर पे फॉलो कर सकते हैं @RJ_FADDY, और मुझे फेसबुक पे फॉलो कर सकते हैं @RJ फेरी प्रो रेसलर। और इंशाल्लाह कल मुलाकात होगी नए गेस्ट के साथ, और नए अगर नेटवर्क अच्छा रहा तो इंशाल्लाह कल मुलाकात होगी। तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखें। और क्वारंटीन के जो बोर वाले सीजन गुजर रहा है उसके अंदर हमने क्वारंटीन स्पेशल जो एक लाइव सेशन वाला सीन है उसके ऑलमोस्ट 20 एपिसोड पूरे हो चुके हैं। आज स्पेशल गेस्ट जो थे वो नाइजल थे, और एक और सरप्राइज अभी बाकी है। इंशाल्लाह आपको जो है जल्दी एक और सरप्राइज देंगे एक बड़े नाम के साथ, तो इंशाल्लाह आपको फिर मुलाकात होगी। फिर तब तक के लिए ध्यान रखें और पीस आउट, अल्लाह हाफिज़।